Hello learners, this is Habiba with Pedagogy of Social Sciences with the topic Aims and Objectives of Learning Social Sciences with the subtopic Learning Objectives in the Constructivist Perspective, Objectives of Social Sciences according to Constructivist Approach. Introduction. Traditional approaches identify and invite learning objectives in advance so that proper planning, that is lesson planning, may take place well according to pre-identified learning objectives irrespective of the learning situations and learners' needs. This stand is not acceptable to constructivist approach in the constructivist perspective. Before understanding about this topic, let's understand what is constructivist approach. Constructivist approach is they believe that knowledge is constructed by the students. Already they have some knowledge in their mind. They go on learning new things and construct new knowledge in their mind. So, in this constructivist, we cannot give importance to rote learning or by hearting things. We should give learners we should facilitate the learners to learn things in a natural way. So, in this constructivist approach, knowledge is constructed by the learners if they are given any opportunity to learn with freedom. So, earlier what was there? Traditional approaches were there, like classroom teaching, lecture. Teacher used to teach. Everything was taught by the teacher. Only the passive listener was the learner. Slowly behaviorists came. They told that through behavior children will learn, they said. And after that, constructivism has come, where these scientists said that students construct the knowledge if they are given any proper environment. So here what they are saying, in traditional approaches, learning objectives were written before teaching any lesson, that is lesson planning was done, but they did not consider the learning situations and what is the need of the learner. This was not acceptable to the constructivists like Piaget. We have learnt in Piaget's theories also how children learn. What are the conditions that apply? All those things we have learnt already in the Piaget's stages of development. Knowledge, understanding, application, skill or remembering cannot be visualized different from one another, as no knowledge is possible unless there is understanding on the part of the learner. Even skill is sometimes viewed as one of the outcomes of knowledge and understanding. So, in previous classes we have learnt about the main stages, 6 tiers of learning objectives. They are knowledge, understanding, applying, and also analyzing, evaluating and creating. These cannot be visualized different from one another. They are interlinked. In between there are links. If the knowledge is provided to the students, they will understand that knowledge and then they will apply in real life situation, and then they will analyze. That means they will differentiate between two things or any particular topic if they are given. Then what will happen? Evaluation. How much they understood about the topic. They evaluate themselves and then after evaluating this much knowledge I have grasped, they will be able to create new things. They will add new things to the old knowledge. So these are all interlinked between. And even skill sometimes viewed as the outcome of the knowledge and understanding. Obviously, if the topic is understood thoroughly, then what will happen? They will create things in a new manner. That means the skill will come outside so that new things can be done by the students. What are the different skills? maybe learning skill, maybe observation skill, maybe analyzing, maybe creating new things, making models, elaborating things, discussions, all are the different skills developed among the learners. Now let's understand developing learning objectives in constructivist perspective. So a concept cannot be divided into different level of learning. It has to be an integral whole. So whatever concept, we cannot divide it into different level of learnings. If we are taking one small concept, that should be integrated whole to teach the students so that they will understand that concept thoroughly. Then learning is a divergent process that occurs through a common singular exposure predicted by teacher, a participative process. Obviously, learning is a divergent, different ways are there. It's not convergent, closed. It's divergent, different ways are there in a singular exposure predicted by a teacher. That means participative process. How learning occurs, teacher and learner both has to participate so that the process will develop. So learning is a multi-dimensional process and it should center around certain key concepts, that is continually access the learner's understanding of the concept. That means learning is a multi-dimensional. Only the particular method, through particular method learning occurs, it's wrong. It's a multi-dimensional. There are different dimensions to learning. It certain around certain key concepts, that is continuously learners understand different aspects in a different way. Each learner is unique, so we cannot consider all the children learn in same way. It's a multi-dimensional task. Then learning objectives are contextual in nature. That means learners construct their own meaning. Each learner understands in his or her own way. If the teacher says this is the meaning of it, they will think in a different way, they will bring some other meaning also. That is, learning objectives are contextual in nature. That means different meanings will come. Teaching learning can be organized around certain broad and integrated key concept. That means whatever teaching learning process is there, that should be organized in a broad way, integrated with different key concepts. Developing a strong understanding of the concept of social science, the learning process and the learner have to be among first priorities for teachers. Obviously, who are the first priority for the teachers? The learners. Main focus should be on the learners. That is, teachers should be the facilitators to help them to understand the concepts or the knowledge. So what should be done here? Teachers should develop strong understanding of the concepts of social sciences, because social sciences is related to the real life situations. When they grow up in future, obviously the things are printed in their mind that we have to do in this manner. Then experience is perhaps the most important step in the process of discovery of social science, through which each learner can be made to feel, reflect and arrive at ideas. So experiences are very, very important. Through experience only they will learn, they will explore, they will discover new things in their life. For example, if the teacher is teaching about the rain, obviously the students will understand how the water is stored, what is the utility of the water, and in future how to conserve these water bodies, and also rainwater harvesting concept will come, so that in future they will apply all these things for the conservation of water, which is very, very important. They will reflect whatever they have learned, they will reflect and arrive to new ideas. They will find out or discover new things, how to do better things in future. Teaching learning experience can be designed starting from their questions. Yes. So the learners, the children are the question bank actually they have in their mind. Continuously they will be curious to know many things. They have lots of doubts. We cannot suppress those doubts. We should always encourage by solving their problems or solving their doubts. Teachers need to have the understanding of the concepts. Obviously, the teacher should be the subject matter expert in front of the learners on the topic being translated to anticipate learners' questions and keep the interaction focused towards construction of knowledge of the learners on the concerned topic. Obviously, what the teacher should do, interaction, whatever the topic is taught to the students, better to ask questions to them and even let the learners ask the questions to the teacher. So both the ways interaction will happen. Teaching learning process will become interesting also. Learners also will understand the topics thoroughly. During teaching learning process, teacher may frequently ask students to think, pair, share. Yes, with the peer group, with the friends, if they interact regarding the topic will go into their mind thoroughly. They will understand the topic very well. So teacher should encourage the students to discuss about the topic with the students. That is, think about the topic and share that topic with the peers, so that a better understanding will be there. Then teacher has to recognize that in learner-centered learning situations, curriculum evolves and is not pre-designed for providing possible support in the process of construction of knowledge. So the teacher always should recognize that learner-centered learning situation should be there, not always giving importance to the curriculum. Whatever the syllabus is there, I should complete that much only. That should not be the criteria of teaching learning process for the teacher. It evolves with the new learning situations, new things. Go beyond the textbook is the call of NCF, National Curriculum Framework. So every learning is not pre-designed. There should be new learning situations created by the teachers so that learners can understand the things in a better way and they move forward and achieve better goals. So the teacher should provide possible support to construct the knowledge by the students. Now let's understand learning objectives through some examples. For example, topic weather and climate in geography. What should be the learning objectives? Let's understand here. The learner is able to recall the definition or meaning of weather and climate. If remembering is the main thing, we have taken the tire. So what should be the learning objective here related to weather and climate? The learner is able to or will be able to recall the definition or meaning of weather and climate. Next one, the learner is able to discriminate between weather and climate. What is the understanding tire here, learning objective? What we are going to achieve through this? The learner will be able to discriminate. If the teacher has taught the concept of weather and climate, after that what will happen? The learner will be able to discriminate between weather and climate. Then the learner is able to infer about the climate of a region on the basis of data. That means they will be able to come to some inferences. That means conclusions or the solution to any problem by applying the things with the data. So the learner will be able to infer about the climate, that means presumptions about the climate of particular region they will see, and they will see about the data so that they apply the things here. Then the learner will be able to analyze the climate in its factors. Analyzing, what happens in this analyzing objective? That is, the learner will be able to analyze climate in its factors. the learner will be able to predict the reasons for the variation in the environment. What is the evaluation here? What the learners will understand here through this? The learner will come to the conclusion or predict what could be the reason for the variation in different areas in related to environment. Then the learner will be able to make models or charts of different seasons. If we have taught the weather and climate particularly, then the seasons will come in under that topic, so that the students will be able to clearly understand the topic and they will be able to prepare some models or create new things here. So these are the main learning objectives a teacher can achieve through learners. Then topic fundamental rights in civics or politics. Now let's see the other example. The learner will be able to recall the meaning of fundamental rights. Yes. What is here? What will happen here? Remembering, the students will be able to recall what is the meaning of fundamental rights. The learner will be able to explain about different rights and duties. If they understand what are fundamental rights, obviously they will be able to explain after understanding. The learner will be able to infer about the fundamental rights from various activities of citizens, for example, voting during elections. So they will come to the conclusion that what will happen if fundamental rights are properly followed. They will see their parents going and voting during elections, that they will understand thoroughly. The learner will be able to differentiate or compare the fundamental rights with fundamental duties. Analyzing what will happen, teacher will teach this fundamental rights and duties. They will be able to differentiate what are fundamental rights, what are fundamental duties. Then the learner will be able to appraise the fundamental rights and duties enshrined in the Constitution. Obviously, after understanding, they have the appraisal. That means we have to follow these rights and duties, which are very, very necessary for each and every citizen. How important these all rights and duties are for any citizen in the nation. Then the learner will be able to perform in the mock elections conducted in their classroom. That means that students will form together and they will start understanding the things about the elections which they have seen already when their parents are voting, and teacher has taught the concept also. Then they will create new things as mock elections. They will conduct, students will conduct and they will participate. Then the topic will be understood by the students thoroughly. So let's conclude this topic. Learning objectives are very important from the perspectives of teachers and learners both, to give direction to the teacher, to plan learning experience to be organized for a class, and decide the ways and means to assist them. Learning cannot be seen directly, therefore we have to find some indicators of learning from the evidences. Learning indicators are the same things which we have understood. What are the learning indicators? In the next classes thoroughly we will understand. We can see learning objectives if constructed properly, which provide simple ways of developing those indicators. Since they are written in terms of task that learners will perform, teacher can easily assist learners' performance in the class and get their feedback. The developed objective should be flexible according to the needs of the learner and teaching learning situations. Our ultimate aim is to help children learn to become autonomous learners. Obviously, the students should learn by themselves. That should be always, a teacher should not push them. They should have their autonomous learning ability. Questions and experience of the learners should be valued more than the pre-decided objectives and should be used to select learning objectives. Question and experiences are very, very important. They should be given value rather than pre-decided objectives. Sometimes teacher thinks that those objectives are there which I have written, only that should be achieved. No, whatever situation comes, according to that, teacher has to mold his or herself. A deep understanding of learning objectives in traditional as well as constructivist perspective helps in designing teaching learning experiences in the class and meet the needs of a learner. In any approach, only the focus should be needs of a learner. What is the need of the learner? How we can achieve through the objectives. So we come to the end of the session. Thanks for your attention and time. As motivation, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Happy learning.